It's a colorful foresight where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo woo time where we connect our woo woo into our mundane living. Woo woo!
Hi.
So I'm Sylvia, Colorful Foresight, and today we have Karen, aka Care Bear. So you guys might have seen her around. She's starting to get
Yeah.
less shy to be in front of the screen.
I know. I got a lot of encouragement from our great community. So
Yeah,
that was, I really liked all the interaction and chats and everything. And it's fun to be on the other side.
yeah,
And
exactly.
yes.
It's practice, just like anything. Um, So the title today is gonna be fun. You're like, how is it fun? People pleasing? Well, because we're gonna let it go. And so she's gonna share a little bit, but then we're gonna put our intuition hat and we're gonna see what our intuition shares. Remember, it's not just about Karen and me. This is like a collective thing. So you're gonna get something out of this. And maybe we'll grab some tools. So first we're gonna just use our intuition or we'll combine both. That means get used to not needing tools our tools with our ears or our senses. And then she'll use the affirmation card. I may use the oracle card, and you could do that as well. Let's see who showed up on the comment. Teresa
Hi,
Lavendy.
Teresa.
I never know how to say your last name, but she said, hi, Sylvia and Care Bear. So tell me what inspired you to talk about this topic.
Well, I was just kind of going through my head. I'm like, what? There's something that I feel like needs to be talked about that is kind of like how people talk about like imposter syndrome and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And I was reflecting on a conversation that I had with Rain at Spiritual Rain last week about people pleasing and how we feel like we have been ingrained and how we struggle with that concept of pleasing others and how it's hard to set boundaries and grow from that going forward. It changes a lot of things. And I just kind of was thinking about the root of, where it started. And I mean, as they say with a lot of things, I mean, you kind of sometimes look at your childhood.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know whether I would really say it like a trauma, but it affected me. And I think my culture too, being Southern, everybody is polite. We gloss over things a lot, sweep it under the rug, pretend it doesn't matter. And given being taught to um, be polite and be just kind for the sake of being kind, but you don't always really want to do it. So, like with my mother, I mean, I love my mom, but she's a guilt tripper. She will hold something over you.
Mm-hmm.
And I found an old letter I had written her that somehow came back into my stuff, like from being her house. And I was going through it and I'm like, why am I apologizing for this thing? Like, I didn't even do anything wrong. I'm just trying to appease her because she's not talking to me and she's shutting me out. And rather than trying to get to the root of the issue or just setting a boundary, like you can set a kind to yourself boundary without being rude, would have been, I'm not going to tolerate you just shutting me out. If that's the way it is, just, call me when you're ready to actually talk about it, to have a discussion. And also just say, we're not going to get along all the time. I'm not going to make you happy all the time. And that's okay.
You know, it's funny because this morning I contacted Karen yesterday, I believe. I said, "You want to go live?" She goes, "Yeah." So I'm like, "What ideas?" I gave her two ideas, and then she gave me people please. I'm like, "We'll do the other two ideas another time." And now I'm listening to you. I could sometimes be very direct, or I'm not direct. So directness could come off a little rude. And so when I'm acting my divine, it's helped me to be direct, but with kindness. Because sometimes you're gonna have to be direct, and you even may be kind, but still gonna come off rude.
I'm glad you said that about the kindness thing because there is a
That's one you
distinction.
mentioned. Yeah.
Yes, there is a distinction. Um, you know, yes, is it good to have people like you? Yeah, of course we want to be liked. We're human beings. Um, it's just how we validate it from an ego sense, I believe, and also that can kind of come with codependencies,
Yeah.
needing that. It's okay to want to be liked, and that's how we can interact and build relationships, have commonalities. But how do we do it without the need that we go so far as to overshadow who we are so they don't even know who we are authentically? And I think that's the key difference
I think
is
that's just uh, I don't like to think I'm not, but sometimes I'm not. You think
we
about
all wear masks. We all
it, right?
do. And I mean, the thing is like we can't perfectly say we are never going to people please. I mean, we have jobs, we have kids, we have responsibilities, but I think it's important to remember to take time out for yourself and really reflect on, I would say, the majority of what you do. Are are you mostly who you want to be, or do people not even really know you? Are you being drained so much because you're giving so much? And I'm a mom of three, so this is something too that I still have to take some time for myself, even if I've just got to like go lock myself in the bathroom for a few minutes
I
just to
know, right?
regroup. Yeah, because I don't want to project negativity either. And you have to excuse me. I'm a little, I have ADD, so I jump a little bit, but that just reminded me too. I have a tendency to be passive aggressive because
Mhm.
it builds up and then I might just like flow, like,
I
and
think,
yeah,
it's good to realize that we have all equality because there's a thing, like, especially in the spiritual community, like, oh, I'm always spiritual and I'm always nice. And you may be. Some people are nicer than me, and I could be nice, but I could be direct and I could be passive aggressive and tell it like it is. Sometimes because I haven't learned the art of being direct and being kind. I grew up with bossy people, so sometimes I come off like bossy, and I'm like, I'm just expressing myself. So I do pray to, fine tune it because I didn't have that tool. So I have to
yeah.
figure it out myself. Like whatever it is for each person, especially for you, we didn't have the tool, so now we're trying to figure it out.
I think it's, you don't, um, if we don't really have that problem per se, is just, I would say, and I'm not saying this in a direction towards you by any means.
Oh, any
I'm just saying it like as a generalization, is that just like it's toxic to people please because it's almost manipulating. We don't want to be on the reverse side of that and be toxic
Oh
because
yeah,
people are
I
going to
see that.
fear the response that they get.
Yes,
And we can't control other people. We can only control the things that we choose to do. And we have to let go of some of that. And some of that does involve, um, going through and like who in my life adds zero value that I'm just appeasing. Like, what am I getting out of this? Is to try to, what do they say? Just cut it out. We're always like,
yeah.
release. Yeah,
Also,
that's a big topic. Yeah.
Karen, just want to let you know because she can't see the comment. I'm just letting you know who's saying hi to you. So we had Teresa, Fatima,
Hi, Fatima.
um, Bora Bora, and now
Okay.
Flowing.
Hi, Bora Bora. Hi, Flowing. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it.
So
I'm excited.
yeah, I'm gonna say let's act out intuitively. Now we're not gonna use tools yet.
Okay.
Tools are like cards and
Mm-hmm.
things. Oh, thank you, Flowing. Yeah, Bora's saying cold. Yeah, it's been unusually cold over here in New York too. But Once it warmed up, then we'll complain that it's too hot. So
Yeah.
speaking of cold and hot, let go into our intuition. And even if you don't hear anything, you may hear, feel. I think most of you in here process, but if you don't, just wing it. So this is something that had nothing to do with our personality. So this is,
For my girls' happy
oh,
sounds.
well, I
Sorry.
know, like,
I
where is
have
that coming
twins.
from?
So yeah.
um, so let's just go in and act our spirit guide, and let's make it not only for us individually, but that the message be for the collective. That means you who are watching.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we have to be asking a little more direct question. So the question is, did anything you want to, spirit guide, do you have anything to add that will, any value in regard overcoming people pleaser, and that it become a good experience by doing this?
The key is unlocking ourselves like a
Unlocking.
box. Yes.
Ooh.
And developing a better relationship with ourselves. Because if we can do that, then we are respecting ourselves, and that reflects back to the people around you.
You get to learn new things about yourself.
Yes.
Remember, I'm
Yeah.
focusing on, because we already know a lot of time without negative. So it's not about like spiritual bypassing, but it's more like, how can we like overcome this so it become a good experience, like letting go. So unlocking. So let's go with that, unlocking. Yeah, because I can, the spirit guide's like, you have so much to learn because you know what you know. Your math, you know your good quality and you know your bad quality. So now with this intention, we're gonna start showing it to you because you're asking, can you show me how I could let go of being a people pleaser? But that'd be a good experience. Because sometimes if we don't say that, then all they show us is a negative experience. I'm like, I don't,
Yeah. Like
why
here
should
you
I?
go, crash course.
I know, right?
Right.
So sometimes I need gentle, to be honest.
I
I know
do.
it's always easy. They say crash course is easier because then you get right to the root. But sometimes you need that gentleness. Or at least for me. Maybe for you guys, like, no, I take it all. I'll figure it out. But I like that unlocking. So let's all pick a card that's in the comment. And I'm going
Okay.
to ask Karen to pick one of her affirmation cards because it's geared toward that. And I'm going to pick one. And then we're going to add our intuition with that. That way we don't just use cards. So what happened is I find the cards are great, and especially when I'm not clear, it helps.
Hmm.
But sometimes the cards could also make me not listen to myself,
Okay.
relying on too much outside. So that's why I'm like, we could pick one or two, but then include our intuition.
Okay.
And we'll just roll with it. Let's shake it off. Shake it off.
Now, I was telling Sylvia that these are the, you have to excuse the, it's one of those, I forget, the awful boxes that they fall apart. So, but so the top
That's off.
literally just came off of it. I was like, wow, okay, don't know when that happened. But it's the dialectical behavior therapy skills, and it's a way to regulate your emotions, because
Oh,
if we can center and balance ourselves better, then
mhm.
we can be more mindful
Yeah.
of what we're doing, and really try to think about being more authentic to ourselves, yet still have kindness and compassion and everything. But you know the discernment of when it's something where you're like, oh gosh, I really don't want to do that, but I feel like I have to do that. It's, just it would give you things like take a pause and tell them that you'll get back to them. Let you think,
Yeah.
yeah, don't just immediately say yes, because sometimes when you flake out, which I do sometimes, and I'll come back and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Which is another thing. Don't say sorry a lot. Um, because A, it loses its meaning after a while. And then B, um, you don't even know what you're apologizing for. But, it's good to take that time because you're just going to end up disappointing everybody later and yourself if you can't meet the expectations. And are those expectations even reasonable? It's a rabbit hole once you really think about it. You can put a lot of thought into it. And I have been working on setting boundaries, and it's been hard. It has, but I'm growing from that, and I'm starting to learn that it's okay, that everybody's not going to like what I choose, and
Yeah,
I'm
what I
more
think.
selective.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I always want to know, and one thing I'm learning is you're not going to always know, and you need to focus on right here. I tend to have anxiety, so I'm always looking to the future or I'm looking to the past. But meanwhile, you got to create in the moment. And what I'm hearing from you, what you said intuitively, you heard unlocking, right?
Hmm.
And now you said it's kind of like going the rabbit hole. So, going,
I
yeah,
like that. Yeah,
unlocking.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess it's like maybe I want to have answers now, but there may be no answers. Really, literally, be right here. Let's just focus here. One thing at a time. So let's pick up a card. So pick a card out of that, and to go further about this unlocking and the rabbit hole bit.
Well, this one was very interesting to me because of our backstage chat, and
Ooh,
about how you were saying you um, that you don't uh, that you tend to maybe come off as more assertive or just firm, and in that where me, I'm like, how do I
right,
ease the blow the best that I can? I mean,
right.
it's just um, probably part of my astrology chart as well. I mean, there's lots of in our socialization and all kinds of things. But the skill was, and it's funny, it pulled directly the interpersonal effectiveness skills. This just like jumped out when I was shuffling. And it is number 47, use assertive communication skills. There are three parts to an appropriate assertive request. I think focuses on the facts, not the judgments of them. I feel addresses how the situation makes you feel emotionally. And that whole thing like, I feel, I think, like claim it and don't try to like spin it. That's a great way to not project your feelings onto somebody else because people can get defensive with that. And I want requests that the person does something. Hmm. Avoid blaming the other person. Avoid blaming yourself too. I would say I'm adding that in. Keep your requests simple and reasonable. Try it today. So that could be not even really saying no to something, maybe the start unlocking it and going deeper is, do you have a problem, which I do, is saying what I really want sometimes and claiming that. And just like little things, I would say start small because that's the best way to build a habit.
Yeah, one thing you said behind the scene, before we came on live. By the way, Heather, who saw Alchemy is on with
Oh, hi,
Indigo. Yeah,
Heather. Yeah, I was telling
she
them
went over.
during her show. Yeah, so
Yeah,
please
she
tell
can
them. So
see
thank
the
you.
comments. So I'm reading for her, Heather.
Thank you.
Yeah, I you were right. Because if I had to go and learn, first of all, I didn't learn about this assertive thing. So I either not assertive or I'm too assertive. And if could I don't have I would like to learn to be assertive with gentleness versus like or don't say anything at all. Like to work it in the middle. Um, thank you, Heather. And also, um, so what I like is you're talking about how your style is, and I'm talking about my style. But I could
I like
relate
that
to
too.
you. I could relate to you because when I was younger, at home I was myself, so it's like nice to not nice. And then when I was with my friends and stuff, I was nice, people pleasing. And so they were surprised, like I had all these challenges because I never talked about it. It's always
Hmm.
And even with the channel, myself, but you were talking about how like even with people with
Yes, I
YouTube
wanted to bring
family.
that up. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
Hmm.
what did he say about that? Bring that up a little bit. Could I can relate to that.
Absolutely. This was something I was thinking about, and I've heard, we've talked about it in different chat rooms across our community too.
I could see it for
Is
myself.
Yeah, is being authentic
Mm.
to our channel. How this isn't just about how, pleasing, just another person, like, oh, I'm going to say yes to everything and overwhelm myself. It's also about how we look at ourselves and our identity, but we can get in these traps of, oh, but I need to make it where everybody's going to want to watch this, but this isn't really something I'm behind, or I'm not doing something that really is more passionate to me. And how do you balance where you're wanting to get more viewership without sacrificing your values?
Yeah,
And
it's
yes.
funny. Some people are quick learner. Like I see some YouTubers, and they're like quick. Like for me, the first year was just to try and figure out how to do everything technical, and then
Yes.
second year now, um, it's working with people behind the scene and in front, and it's not always like they're wrong. Sometimes I don't like the word wrong, right, but it's me. So it works both ways. So now we're working on a personality. And some people get that within 6 months, but it's like for me, it's been like a process. And then you all know if you have a YouTube channel, you have your own life. And then you come on, not that you're being fake, but you're putting on a better you, so to speak. There are some people who share only like the negative. But I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But at the
Yes.
same time, I don't want to be like too, hey, everything's great,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I balanced it out.
Yeah.
Um, so right now, intuitively, what Karen got early, because she told like fact, but she also said what she heard without using cards, she heard unfolding. So we're just learning. Like this is a slow process. 'Cause I can speak for me. I always want to know the answer now. And it's not like that. It's just focus on today, right now.
Hmm.
What is your lesson right now? This is the lesson for today. It's just you and me talking about it out loud. You know what I mean? Which
Yes.
is fun. And then, yeah.
Absolutely.
So Heather was like, there are two things, which I've done both, by the way. Authenticity. She goes, yes, Karen. So she's all like, yes. Then she also said, yes, toxic positivity,
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like learning to balance it out. I also have, I don't know what it is, but some people that I meet, uh, I have more flow with. Like I
Hmm.
met with you, and I met some people over here. It's easy, but then some people like I could feel like. So I want it
Like
just
a resistance. Yeah.
it's just instead of making it wrong, maybe the other and I just don't. You know what I mean? And
And
then
that's
sometimes
okay.
you lose the friendship. I mean, it is what it is. But um, that's all part of the people pleasing, and also
Hmm.
just learning to create that boundary that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's an
I'll
art
be
to it.
courteous.
We're gonna
Yeah.
do it, guys. We're talking about it. So let's figure it out. So now, even though we intuitively put our hat on, I've been telling people let's focus on tuition, less on tool. But tools are fun. We could do a little bit of both. So she read a little bit of affirmation. Anybody else who wants to, in the comment, or even when you watch this after, pick one card because this is a collective reading. It's funny. Before we go further, Heather added, which makes sense. We all resonate differently, and that is okay. We all don't won't necessarily mesh. That's what I'm learning. Just because maybe me and another don't mesh, even though it's like an ego thing for me a little bit, like a bruised ego, or I'm like, you know what, you and I are not meshing. And then we see each other around YouTube. Let's be cordial. It's still, I would love it if it's all great, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Of
But that's the
course.
way it is in life. That how you feel about that. Oh, I could go all over the place too. So Karen suggested let's start small. Like you want to learn this with the most difficult person that you have challenges with. Like I could think one right now. So start small. My brother always said that to me, but I always start big, start small. So, what's the example for you that it was small, that was helpful for you that you noticed in regard your evolution with letting go of your people pleasing?
Um, just things that maybe I wasn't like as personally connected to say, especially like being having young children, you get asked to go or do things or volunteer for all of this stuff. And I'm just was like, well, let me really look at my time and my schedule first and think about it and I'll get back to you. That was something, where I didn't have as much of um like a strong connection where I'm like, I know I've got to struggle with that. Like, oh my gosh, I don't, want to disappoint somebody that I really have a lot of respect for, like, I don't want to let them down and then end up disappointing them because that's something that I've had to deal with is my own blowback
But that's
on the
amazing.
opposite end of it,
No, but it's good that it's amazing that you're working on that.
And then probably the bigger ones would be like my mom. And
Absolutely.
we've come a long ways. And I tell you, it took a while, and I just wasn't going to tolerate uh, some of the ways that she would, when I tried to set a boundary, guilt me over it. And I'm like, no, no, you can contact me when, as I said before, like when you're ready to have a civil conversation about it. And um, I'm not gonna, it's okay to say, like, you're not gonna tolerate somebody. It's toxic if somebody's coming back and gaslighting you or, making you feel super guilty about it. I mean, you can tell the difference. You just listen to how it makes you feel
Yeah.
inside. Your body will give you
Yeah, I was
tips and
thinking of one
clues.
person that passed away. So it's funny, 'cause on the other side, he didn't have that difficulty when he would hear the mental. When I talked to him on the other side, he's more lighter and brighter. I'm getting to have a new relationship. I'll thank my dad. He was difficult. So just want to bring up what Jeff said, that going back with learning how to
Kind of. Yeah.
be act backward, how to like
Yes.
work with people could be a painful lesson,
Hmm.
and then Heather said, which I like, there are a lot of people I don't mess with in our community, but I still care about them and try to support them when I can. I like that,
Me too.
you
And
know
that's the difference. That's how
but
that
sometimes there's certain people like, no, later,
right.
babe.
I call those like healthy relationships.
Right.
And that's when you're having a healthy relationship with yourself, which I think is the most important part of it is healing your inner wounding and your reasoning for needing validation outside of yourself. You need to be able to learn how to validate and come up with a good reason that this is going to be beneficial, like mutually beneficial. And then sometimes, yeah, we've got obligations and things that we have to do, but there are just when you've taken on way too much, something has to go somewhere, and it can be stressful to decide who to say no to, and you feel guilty, and it's like, why do I feel this way? Is it okay? I mean, and healing that part of it.
Well,
So
like somebody
yeah.
like your mother, the foundation. So, and Heather could agree with you. She said her mom was a master manipulator, Karen. I feel
Hmm.
you. So, hug to you. And
Yes.
then we're human. We will most certainly feel betrayed or hurt. That is when we create our boundaries and track those that do mesh with us. Thank God. So, one
Yeah.
part I got is speak up. So, we're speaking on it. There's something healing about it, isn't it? Like we
Use
could do
assertive
it,
communication skills. Speak up.
right? I
Yes.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's also good to do with people. It's not about like having people, yes, people, like,
Hmm.
oh, I agree with you.
Right.
And yeah, yeah. But it's nice to, right now, we could speak and not have like, well, you did it, like it just to speak. Somebody told me my throat chakra closed. Uh, it's funny because I could speak and then I cannot speak. So, but you
I
need like
get tongue-tied, yeah.
authenticity and energy work. We're all basically our body moving at all time. However that means for you, it means differently. Like I just started Dance with Joy, the movement class on Sunday, and then I got to start walking because my body. I noticed that I came focused on enjoying dancing because my body is just heavy, and I don't mean it like just weight, even though it's a weight,
I
but
get
it's
that.
like if I'm not even walking and I don't have the
Mhm.
flexibility, I can't even focus. Or I'm focusing on the pain. I'm not focusing on energy or people around me. So that's something new I'm doing.
It's a form of meditation to
Take care,
me
Fatima.
too. Hi. It can be very meditative, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But it's funny because the movement's very easy and it's all energetic.
Mhm.
So I really enjoy it. So anybody has a card that they want to pull up in the comment, please do and share with us. It's a collective. So I get, Spirit telling us just listen and speak up when you can. Start small, and we're
Mhm.
on what was that word? Unfolding. So we're going to learn new things about us that we may not even be aware of because it's like a rabbit hole, as she brought up, Karen.
And I like the thought, like, with the throat chakra, maybe there's a crystal or something that, you wanna meditate with. It's whatever that would work for you. Music has, uh I like to sing, so it's really, something that helps release that energy that I need, and I have, like, if I hold myself up too much and I don't, like, create and share and collaborate and talk and do that, it's like I feel dead inside.
Well, I'm going to
Um,
say how you feel like, I know like few people in here, they have a channel. Like,
mhm,
how is it to have, start speaking up? You're starting to go other people's channels speaking up. Like, I find that I learn a lot about myself with the unfolding thing.
mhm,
And because the mind is so monkey mind, that when I see the positive that I do, I'm like, oh, that's how people see me. I need to see myself that way, like that kind of thing. And then if it's negative, we already know. Can we focus on that?
yeah.
But then you could work on it. Like sometimes I do go in circle. I learn, but it is what it is. I can't be perfect. Yeah, Jeff said channels are so hard to manage too. You said channel with the S. One is enough for now. So
Yeah,
anyway, thinking like
I
it's
think it's
it's
great.
easy. You don't live with your mom, but what if you have people in your house that you have to work on that? Like I have one person, not at the house, but she's around a lot, and but we have space,
Mhm.
so it's not like 24/7. And
See? Yeah.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
have
Like,
that.
how do you
Mhm.
work with that? Do you just start with yourself and then just pray? You know?
I I just, after a while, I mean, as long I just set time aside, make sure that, my children, of course, I'm taking care of everybody, else, like, um, and be a good mother. But also, I think to be a good mother is just that example and let them see things that, you're creating, you're doing, you're interacting, and that you have, it, it it's like I want to be a good role model, and I want to encourage their creativity. But if I'm not doing anything, how is that really? They say the best example is to show,
Are your kids
to
are
show
your
and not
kids are like
tell.
a good buffer between you and the other? Because it's like it reminds you to focus on you and the kid, and
They
then
bring out my childlike nature, and also too is like when I looked at your title is like letting it go is the fact that I can't control the noise in my environment. I can do my best,
right,
but you know what? Hey, this is me, and my videos aren't going to be perfect. I ramble, but I'm having a good time. Do I smile a lot? Yeah, I do. Like, that's just kind of who I am, normally. I
Right.
like to laugh, and what you see is what you get with me
Right.
now, and that's how I'm learning to be more. And I think what's so great about, all of us interacting and sharing and collaborating with our channels is, it was actually one of the first poems I put out on my channel, is that don't dim the light of another just to make yours shine brighter. I can't remember exact line,
That's
but
great.
we all shine brighter together. That was it. We do. When we collaborate, we can have a much bigger voice, a bigger, but also like it can be really isolating. Like if you just hold yourself in your channel and you're not interacting or whatever, it's important to keep those interactions to make this feel real. Even
Ooh.
you can kind of just really get lost into
Well, I
it.
mean, one thing I like about today, usually I'm coming up with ideas that the title I would not have thought about, but it's so timely for me. It's great. It's wonderful.
I'm
It's
really
great. You
like
can have
enjoy
10
it.
different people watch the same thing, and they're still going to get something out of it differently, but it's good. What do
Hmm.
you get from it? The one who's in there. I know two people left. What do you
Yep.
get from it, Jeff, for yourself? And I won't put up the answer. And Teresa, if you're still here, anybody's here. But anyway, if you're here, what do you get from this? Um, this idea of people pleasing. Some of you already know, like, I'm too rude to be a people pleasing. But just because you have rude side doesn't mean you don't people please. Because you might be rude because you hold it in and then you can't
Hmm.
hold it. And then you
Right.
get it out. Like I see that. And also you probably didn't grow up learning how to talk gently, you know?
Maybe, yeah.
And
We're
you
all
have to
different,
learn.
but there's other ways that we people please
Like
too.
what?
Um, uh, like how I was talking about just the way we might decide to put out certain content, and we might filter out certain things where we think that we're going to be more attractive for certain reasons. What are the motivations
All
behind our
right.
actions?
You want to look good, right?
Right. Or you want to,
Mm.
I mean, yeah, I think it can go in a lot of different ways, not just how we express and say, directly to like another person when you think about, oh, what people pleasing is, but I think it goes a lot deeper than that. And, you know, uh, are we really being uh, genuine? And that's something that I uh, take a lot of pride in, to try to be genuine. But also, I don't want to be a horrible person either. I don't
I
want to
know
be
you.
totally selfish. It's finding a
Sometimes,
balance between that, you
hey,
know?
Jeff said to read it, 'cause you can't read the comment. I'll read it for Karen. It actually makes it harder to create content if you think something will go over big if you do it.
Hmm.
You need to do what really makes you laugh. That is when I am the most comfortable, when it's less planned. Okay, Bora. Thanks for watching. Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
continued, Jeff, like this new direction of going live pop up sometime in the morning with which I have to watch. I haven't seen it yet. Pendulum morning. The more thought that might go into it, the less I feel it comes off authentic.
Hmm.
That's something I'm learning. Like I would worry about being too prepared, and I'm not. So I'm learning both. Like when I'm too prepared, how it is. When I'm not prepared, how it is. So it's like I'm learning the whole spectrum, which is kind of cool. It's a
Yes.
choice. It's a choice.
Yes.
Um,
And
I'm
and
different. I
it's
like
okay to
things
not be
more.
perfect, you know? It's okay. What?
Um, so what would be like? So let's go with this. Let's have fun.
Okay.
Let's play. What would it be like if we overcame people pleasing? Sometimes I really don't know. So I'm gonna ask my spirit guide. So let's put our intuition hat, get our
Okay.
personality out of the way, our monkey mind, because spirit guide would tell you what you need to know. So what your spirit guide telling you? What would you be like the opposite of people pleasing? That's including you, Jeff. And
One,
Teresa.
in.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen too, right? We have to be quiet, okay? Be still. It's funny, I got the word gratitude. I'm like, how? I guess because sometimes if I'm really upset, like things are not working out, I'm like kind of like focusing on why this not working. Da 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 da. So if I'm more authentic, maybe life is flowing a little bit, or it's like at least, and then I can't really complain. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's like it's very interesting with this gratitude thing, which I never thought of.
I saw the lady in
Where
my
you go?
head, the lady on the strength card with the lion.
That is,
Having more courage, more strength, and but still being graceful and feeling in control, but not in
so
a really
maybe
dominant way. Like in a, I feel like if you look at that, the lion respects her to let her
I
do that.
know, right? She actually tamed
Hmm.
without like a being. It's like a gentleness, right? She
I
didn't like, oh, because
I
he would never
feel,
pay attention. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it might not be um, in your mind the popular opinion, but actually sometimes the hard things that we have to say and do really gain us the most respect and build our character. And I would see that as, yeah, like a victory, um, in a not just about me, but it's about all interacting with others. I feel like that would be, yeah, good. I feel like I would have more strength. That's how I
Wow.
see it. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask my spirit guide. Please show me because I don't know. Like, show me more how that worked with the gratitude thing. Like, I'm trying to understand it conceptually, but it's about experiencing. You know how it is. We get sign and synchronicity. So for you, I'm excited if you choose to ask spirit guide. Show me more about that strength thing. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to read about it. I want to experience it. And Jeff had the interesting. And everybody's different. His thing was what he heard intuitively. What that intuitively on your mind? He said, "Oh my God, telling people to f off more." That is what came in for me. Maybe in some cases,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
making a hard choice for you. So sometime, yeah. So you want to, Doc? What do you want to ask your spirit guide to show you to do that? You should let us know how that goes. Maybe do a video on that in the morning. Yeah. So gratitude. That makes sense because if a lot of time I notice, you've seen some of my miracle channel, like it's woo woo even for me. And what I've noticed is that miracles happening to us all the time. But I have
Hmm.
this idea, life is challenging. How are you getting miracles? But there's little miracles we're getting all the time. Not always the fantastical, Mother Mary come out of the sky type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had really great experience, but I'm still having challenges. So this idea of profession comes to play.
Yes.
And then Jeff said, hell yeah, awesome idea. Yeah, we'll watch the video. So people pleasing, listening to our intuition to tell us, which I love. I got some ideas. I hope you did too, Karen.
Hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And when you're saying that about the gratitude thing, that could be a good daily practice, like a small step is
Small
that
step.
act of, yeah, it's just something that you're grateful for in your world or something that happened, but also something I would think would be good to say, like, what is something I'm grateful about myself? And
Awesome.
I think that would really build what is hurting inside to give yourself more validation rather than seeking it outside as much. Is just say,
Right,
hey,
right.
I'm really glad how I handled that situation today. Like, give yourself a
Every
pat on
little,
the back.
yeah.
Or, yeah,
Right.
I
And
think that
also
would be a
get you
good
out of that funk.
reflection.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm grateful for this collaboration we're doing.
Me too. It's like
Grateful.
a really good release for me. It's an energy release for me because I'm a air sign, so I communicate. I love communication and sharing ideas and everything. And being with small children, I don't really get to have adult conversations as much. So this is like a uh, great experience for me. So I feel nice
Oh, good.
energy
We'll do
release.
more.
Yes, I
You know,
love it.
come up with different ideas. For me,
Yeah,
I'm kind of like I hold things in. So the fact that I could communicate with you and I feel like it's, just about me. It is all about us, all of us saying that. But ultimately, if we, I feel a little cliche, but if we work on ourselves, it naturally benefits everybody. Going to benefit her children, going to
does.
benefit, um, overall. But one more message
Okay.
for the collective is, oh, you cannot make this up. This is what you've been saying for the past 46 minutes.
Truth. Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yes, yes. The truth.
And you know what I'm noticing here is the heart. See, what happened is when you're not authentic or we're learning to suppress, we
That's
get used to
beautiful.
like denying our heart, right?
That's beautiful. Okay, so they wanted to give me an emotion regulation skills. And I'm just going to say this. This is a real woo woo thing right
What is
here.
it?
So I can give you your woo woo.
Woo woo.
So the funny thing is, like it says, say how you feel. Number 28. Like I saw this number
Really?
forever. Like, I would be, I'd walk by the washing machine and have 28 minutes left. I'd happen to look over the dryer, 28, 28. I'd get up, I'd look, and it's like 8:28 or something, like 28 on receipts. I mean, just constantly, I was trying to figure out what's this 28? What's this 28? So I'm kind of getting something here about let's look at signs
Yeah.
around us
That's pretty fun.
and maybe talk about how I found some answers or by asking others what they thought that number meant. I had some new ideas about how to explore into that, like breaking it down to the number 10, which is like the Wheel of Fortune, which would say, hey, the cycle's ending, it's time for something, a change, or change is coming, or, it opened up like brainstorming collaboration to me. And then had I had more knowledge and information. But the skill that they say in here, say how you feel, to help you recognize and cope with how you feel, it's often helpful to say it out loud. Well, that number was driving me nuts. So I wanted to say it out loud. Um, this might sound silly, but stating how you feel, like I'm scared, highlights how you feel and can help you choose the best coping strategy. Like use mindful breathing, try it today, which, well, breathing is good. I mean, that's good for the brain. We all need oxygen, but like um yeah, just maybe check in and tell somebody even if it's not easy.
You
I
know,
feel frustrated today about this, or I feel grateful about this. I think it's important. Uh, then maybe you can hear how they feel about something. I don't
I know
know.
for me, it's working on vulnerability. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to like be with like-minded people or somebody who's good
Yes.
that I could trust. But with people, especially that I'm triggered by, to be vulnerable around them and express. I think sometimes it's just not going to work out. You share and just they're
That's
not going
okay.
to get it, but sometimes they do get it. So I've
Yeah.
been learning that too. Vulnerability, authenticity, all new rabbit hole that we're getting into. But I do ask
Yeah.
the spirit guide that it be a benevolent. We're going to go most benevolent outcome.
Right.
Gentle, if it's like a harsh thing, gently,
Mm-hmm.
and that quickly,
Yes.
um, and show us, because what did that look like? The opposite of people pleasing. Well, you got an
Yeah.
insight and I got an insight. And gratitude definitely is it, because I'm not even recognizing or giving validity to all the good things. You know,
Yes.
it,
Yeah. Me too. I I
I guess
just
when
try to
people,
take a pause and think about that a lot. And sometimes that really gets to me when I see like I'll walk by my little girls and she's like, ah, just happy. And I look and I'm like, that, I mean, it just like lights me up and I'm grateful for that moment. And I stop and I'm
yeah,
like, I'm going to have fun with them right now for a little bit.
true,
Yeah.
true. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. Let us know. Let us know. Next time I do, when we collaborate, I want her to learn how to stymie class into her channel.
Sure. Yes.
So yeah,
I'll
because if she's
bring
not
my
driving,
laptop. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, she had to do it with her laptop. That way you can see on her channel too, and like it. But please, in the meantime, her. Let me see. I could copy and paste it.
Thank you. I
Anyway,
appreciate
here
that.
we go. This is her. Um, Let me bring it up. This is her YouTube
Yep.
handle,
That's
Care
her.
Bear
Hmm.
Bard of Cards. And please say hello. Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.